Hello. We are
Hello.
sharing and caring right now. How's everybody doing today? Happy Sunday. Jenny. One on 100 septic tanks. Hey, Jenny, Howard, Paranormal Nation Radio, or Carl. And I saw, I think, Randy. Is it Randy up here? Bridget. Sorry. Bridget and Dawn. And Gabe. How's it going, everybody? Happy Sunday, fun day. What's everybody got going on today? The beginning of your week or the end of your week? And my kid's calling me. Are you serious? So we're gonna do haunted battlefields, haunted camps, haunted war sites today, and I'm gonna have to mute this for just a second because my teenager is calling me, and I have to make sure it's not an emergency. I'm pretty sure it's not, and she just doesn't notice what time it is because every Sunday it's the same thing at this time. Hey, Michelle, Joanne, hey, Troy, Debbie, everybody, how's it going? Welcome everybody to Hey Boo. I'm just gonna message her. Sorry, they're not. Y'all aren't trying to watch us texting people, but anyway, so we're gonna do haunted war sites or haunted camps or haunted battlefields that still have actions going on, still have activity going on, still alive with spirits that are there that passed away and that was their last breath was taken there and they still reside there today, probably reacting or reenacting the last thing that they did when they were here on Earth, which was fighting, being at war, defending something that they cared about, or just doing what they were told, even if they did or didn't care about it. So I don't know what you guys have that you're going to talk about. I can't remember. Like I know that this is something that you sent me, Jackie, but I don't know how you say that.
Shaman.
Chalmette.
Yeah, Shaman.
Okay.
Shaman
Chalmette
Battlefield.
Battlefield Cemetery is what she's going to talk about today. Oh, I can't remember what you said you were going to talk about.
Because I didn't.
Okay. I was like, I must
I
have
couldn't decide, so I just kind of like picked like a little hodgepodge of a few things.
Hey,
So
Perry.
I'm going to talk about real quick, just like brief mentions of, Davis Monthan Air Force Base here in Arizona, in Tucson, Fort Huachuca in here in Arizona, and then Fort Bowie and Fort Lowell. So,
Awesome.
and
I had to
that's
pick some other places
like
just in case.
little brief little mentions about them all, just kind of just so that people know they exist and want to go hunt and
Yeah.
investigate and all that and experience. There's a lot of
Well,
these places.
the main place that I picked is the Battle of Sharpsburg in Maryland, or the Battle of Antietam. So it was at Antietam Battlefield, which is, I guess, right next to Sharpsburg because it says Sharpsburg like slash Antietam Creek. So it actually took place in a creek. I guess I'll go ahead and go first. So the Battle of Antietam, the battlefield itself was taking place actually literally. There was a trench there full of dead bodies. I have some photos that I'll bring up or whatever and show it. There were trenches there, like a trench there, and you can go there today, and it's lined with crisscrossed wooden, I guess, like posts that line all the way down to a very large statue that is left there in honor of the battle there that day. It was on September 7th, 1862, part of the American Civil War, and it took place at Sharpsburg, Maryland. Someday I hope I can go check this place out because it looks really actually awesome. Because right next to it, there's a national cemetery.
Um,
So you can do two for one, like you can go look at the battle site and check it out, look at the statue, read the monument, and then you can actually go through the national cemetery and look at all of the headstones of all the soldiers that passed away there. It was supposed to be the bloodiest day in American history, which shocked me. There was a total of 22,717 men that were dead that day, wounded or missing in action.
wow.
That's a lot of people.
Yes.
Hey Perry. So the fight, I'm gonna have to read this verbatim part of it because it's like statistics or like details about who was on this side and who was on the Union, who was Confederate, and all that stuff. So that part I'll have to read. Like I don't like to just read to you guys, but that's why I don't miss it. What do you say? Oh, I bet that's Eileen. That's funny. That made that comment. So it was a Confederate and a Union war. It was part of the Civil War. It was in what did I say? In 1862, not 1962. September 17th, 1862. It was between Confederate General Robert E. Lee, his army of North Virginia, and the Union General George B. McClellan, Army of Potomac. And it was at Antietam Creek in the Eastern Theater of American Civil War. It was the first fight of that level of engagement on Union soil. And if you want to actually know, like a play-by-play, like you're watching a movie or something, I'm going to read what happened. After pursuing Confederate General Robert E. Lee into Maryland, Major General George B. McClellan of the Union War launched attacks against Lee's army, who were in defensive positions behind Antietam Creek. At dawn on September 17th, Major General Joseph Hooker's corps mounted a powerful assault on Lee's left flank. Attacks and counterattacks swept across Miller's cornfield, and fighting swirled around the Dunker Church. I'm pretty sure the church is still there, and you can actually go up and look at it right now. I think it's in some of the photos that I'm going to show. Union assaults against the sunken road eventually pierced the Confederate center, but the Federal advantage was not followed up. In the afternoon, Union Major General Ambrose Burnside's corps entered the action, capturing a stone bridge over Antietam Creek and advancing against the Confederate right. At a crucial moment, Confederate Major General A.P. Hill's division arrived from Harper's Ferry and launched a surprise counterattack, driving back Burnside and ending the battle. Although outnumbered 2-1, Lee committed his entire force, while McClellan sent in less than 3/4 of his army. What a poopy head. Enabling Lee why would you do that? I guess to keep back up, protect yourself, get a security detail for yourself, enabling Lee to fight the Federals to a standstill. During the night, both armies consolidated their lines in spite of crippling casualties. Lee continued to skirmish with McClellan throughout September the 18th while removing his battered army south of the Potomac River. I hope I'm saying that right. It looks like Potomac. McClellan had halted Lee's invasion of Maryland, but his army had suffered heavier losses, and Lee was able to withdraw his army back to Virginia without interference. McClellan's refusal to pursue Lee's army led to his removal from command by President Abraham Lincoln in November. Although the battle was tactically inconclusive, I guess as to who actually won, the Confederate troops had withdrawn first from the battle and abandoned their invasion, making the Union making it a Union strategic victory. So it was enough of a victory to give Lincoln the confidence to announce his Emancipation Proclamation, which by freeing more than 3.5 million slaves in the Confederate States, but not in the Union slave states, began the process of emancipation, and all remaining persons legally considered slaves with the United States, and in doing so discouraged the British and French governments. So that being said, I'm going to actually pull up some photos about actual hunting, because that's just about war. And some of the photos that I have on here would show, well, one of them shows what looks like a spirit. And it looks like a soldier.
You lost her.
Where'd she go?
Whoops, peekaboo. Whoops. That's funny. I was like, what did I just do? I forgot to open a new tab. You got to open a separate tab to do that.
I think we get scared. We just looked at each other and said, "We lost you."
All right, yeah, I got to open up a separate tab with Facebook to open up Facebook Messenger and share. All right, there we go. It's like I forget how to do this every single time.
Or there's some pictures of you now. Just
Well, how do I scroll down? Let's go down right here. There we go. All right. I may have sent my photos only to myself. I think I did. It's funny. What do you know? No, they're in that group. This is more articles about that what I just read. There's another one if we have time at the end I want to read about a site that's in the UK where they actually did a big huge deal about it like a newspaper article, and I think even like it was on the news that these guys caught a horseman in some of their photos on an investigation a few years ago. Where my photos at? Where my photos at? I guess they're way up there. No. I might have to skip mine and go back to mine at the end. I got a cat going nuts. I got a dog. I'm like, oh, you guys, I got ADHD here. Come on, give me a break. I swore I put them in there. I guess I didn't. Like with the blank. I'm gonna hire an assistant that works for free to do this. But there they are. Bam. All right. This way you can't hear the cats and the dogs and put my headphones on. Yeah, because the cat's scratching. Is anybody else having an off day today? Okay. Photos of the cemetery. Tell me if you guys can see this.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know if that's a fort or the church because I think the church is in one of these photos. I had read
looks like it looks like a cemetery where
that is the cemetery that's next to it. It's the Antietam National Cemetery. That's where those headstones are located, right next to it's called Blood Lane. They call it Blood Lane now, but it's basically the creek that was fought with all the bodies in it. It's part of the cemetery right there, and that's either a fort right there or that's the church that it was talking about. That was there when they fought, and it's still there. That's wrong. I'm glad I'm not a pilot. American Airlines, here I come. They'll be like, no, we don't want our life in your hands. This is actually like a picture of the Blood Lane, or I guess what used to be the actual creek. Yeah, look how long it is. It's like long, but I guess for 22,000 bodies to fit in it, it'd have to be pretty dang, spacious. But it's neat that they have these pegs here, and I guess this takes you down into another part of it. But that is the lane that I believe used to be actually Antietam Creek. It's called Blood Lane now because so much blood was shed there in the bodies that were piled up in that creek from that war that day. Well, those 2 days. There's a monument here. It's a statue. So it's actually a historical, well kept up site for people to visit. You can see there's a family there. It's ghosts. No, it's actually real people. and placards and stuff here telling all
That's
the
nice.
different. Yeah, I would like to go there someday. It looks really neat. That's
Is
an
that near you
It's in Maryland.
in Maryland?
It's in Sharpsburg, Maryland, and it tells different infantries and companies and stuff that were involved, I guess, there. And this is an actual map of the Blood Trail, which I guess is the red dotted lines. The Bloody Lane, September 17th, 1862. And there's a tower there that was a lookout tower. And I'm pretty sure it's been there since the day of the war.
So,
And this is not a real spirit photo. Someone created this photo to show when they wrote an article about what happened there and about it being haunted. Someone created this photo, I'm pretty sure. But you can see like an image of bodies laying there, and there's a wagon or a cannon. And that's the church. There it is. Why did it do that? And that church looked really nice. It looked in really good shape. Where's it? So there was the fort. That's an actual fort. And then there was the church right there. Yeah. I don't see the photo that I had. Where's the photo with the spirit in it? This is a photo that someone took there, and it looked like there was a man, a spirit in it. I might not have saved it. That's okay. And those are some of the other things, if we have time, those articles I'm going to go over. Some different battles that happened in the UK. So, that is, there's somebody I got to block. Welcome back. That is the Battle of Antietam. They're supposed to be soldiers there. They do investigative tours there. Currently, I don't know about like coronavirus and what's going on with the rules. Hey, Mike, how's it going? Mike Cardenas. I don't know what's going on right now with COVID and what the regulations are. I haven't looked because I haven't called the book or anything like that. I would like to check it out and go there in the future. But they do. It's always open for historical value and historical visits, and then you can investigate as well.
and where's the train?
Huh?
Where's the train?
It's like, welcome back. There's a spammer and there's a train. That's my life. I just gotta roll with it.
You must live near a train track.
Yes, I do.
That was pretty loud. I was like, where's that coming from?
Good. How's everyone doing? I'm good. All right, who wants to go next, ladies?
Okay, Jackie.
All
All right, Sherman Battlefield. The last land battle ever fought on American soil between the U.S. and the foreign enemy took place on January 8th, 1815, in Chalmette, just outside of New Orleans, on a site known as Chalmette Battlefield. The Battle of New Orleans, which actually occurred nearly 2 weeks after the treaty was signed that ended the War of 1812.
Sorry, Howard asked, where did they make Boom Boom? Really, they had to have a portalette somewhere. Oh, I got it, a toilet. I didn't know what Boom Boom meant. I was like, Boom Boom, is that like drugs or something so they can stay up and fight? What's Boom Boom? I'm going to pull up your photos.
The Chalmette Battlefield and National Cemetery was established in May 1864 as a final resting place for Union soldiers who died in Louisiana during the Civil War. It also contains the remains of veterans. Wait a minute. Also, as a final resting place for the Union soldiers who died in Louisiana during the Civil War. It also contains the remains of veterans of the Spanish-American War, World War One and Two, and Vietnam. 4 Americans who fought in the War of 1812 are buried here, but only one of them took part in the Battle of New Orleans.
Is that
The
nearby?
battle, huh?
Is the Beauregard House nearby it?
Yes, it's on the battlefield of it's on the Chalmette battlefield. The battlefield is reported to be haunted, very haunted, with the ghost of the Battle of New Orleans. Many strange sightings have been captured, such as orbs, mists, EVPs, and occasional feelings of being grabbed by unseen hands. There are reports of soldiers who walk the grounds at dusk. There are whispers and sounds of voices where there is no people.
I bet you that house
Adjacent,
is haunted too.
yes. The adjacent to the battlefield is the U.S. Civil War Chalmette National Cemetery, honoring Civil War soldiers who died on both sides. Those buried are included member of the famous Buffalo Soldiers. The cemetery sits on a tract of land which is approximately where the British artillery was located during the Battle of New Orleans. Also located on Chalmette grounds is the Beauregard House. It was never used as a plantation.
It's right there.
Its last owner, the
In the
son of
background.
the Civil War Confederate General P.G.T. Beauregard, was the last owner, the son of him. The house was damaged by Katrina but repaired now. The house is unfurnished and is made almost entirely of marble and stone. It is cold in the home, and there are sounds of footsteps behind you when you walk through. When going up the stairs, there's reports of hearing steps coming up the stairs and unexplained shadows that move along the walls and disappear. The graves of the battlefield was damaged by Katrina's surge. The markers have been repaired. Some said there are sounds of cannon fire and sharp sounds of orders being given that echoes through the area on occasion. The Chalmette battlefield is not as famous as Gettysburg battlefield, but it has some more battles and death than Gettysburg. But like at Gettysburg, they had 51,000, and in the Battle of Chalmette, 17,408 lost their lives. So they had a whole lot more deaths at Chalmette than they did at Gettysburg. And that's it.
That's the play. I've heard of the Beauregard House. I hadn't heard of the Chalmette battlefield, but I've heard of the Beauregard House.
Yeah, it's on Chalmette battlefield.
Yeah. It's just crazy, I guess.
It was
how
never
many-
used as a plantation. It was it was really a home. I guess that's where Beauregard stayed. That's why it's named after him. That's the house. That's the entrance to it. Like when you go, you drive through. They have the the tombstones alongside the road.
Mm-hmm. That'd be a cool place to go to, also.
I would like to go there and investigate that.
Mm-hmm.
It should be interesting to go investigate.
No, I can't get that to close, so I'm just stop sharing. So I'll start sharing it again if I need to. Was that in 1814? I took a little trip on down the Mississippi to the town of
That-
New Orleans.
Yeah, that's the song they have. So if you listen to the song, it tells you what happens.
It goes with
Ah.
that battle.
Yeah.
We took a little trip
Ah,
down the Mississippi to the town of New Orleans. I don't know. Am I saying it right?
I was thinking like Proud Mary, but that's not Proud Mary.
No.
Took a little trip down to New Orleans, but that's not how it goes.
You
you know what I'm talking about?
From the Mississippi
You don't
to
have
the
to
town of
worry.
New Orleans.
We should start a
What's the name of the person that sings it, John
We're
Parker?
happy to give you. Huh?
I was going to send it to you so you could play, but I didn't.
That's okay. Ane has several different places that she wants to talk about.
But they're like,
So-
yeah, last time I just like hogged the whole thing.
That's okay. If you get finished, then I have some more.
Like, oh, I'll just do little bits.
There was other
So-
wars fought through the Chalmette battlefield, such as the Spanish-American War. So, and then there's a
Yeah.
house buried on it. Isn't that crazy when we look
The Spanish American War.
research these places that there's houses built on battlefields? Because I guess they didn't think about it back then. You know, it's crazy, isn't it?
All
And I
right,
couldn't
so-
find a number of deaths on the Spanish American War because that's more people that was killed
Mm-hmm.
on the Chalmette battlefield.
Well, she's going to tell her stories, and I'm going to eat my French fries.
Yeah.
So, brief story about Davis-Monthan Air Force Base. That's here in Tucson. You can't visit it unless because it's an active base, so it's happening now.
I
But
can.
there have been
Is it on a
reports-
military base?
Yeah, it's a military base.
I could get us on there.
And yes, you could. You could take us shopping.
Mhm.
But yeah, I read like a few different things because I couldn't decide which one I wanted to talk about. But the Davis-Monthan, there has been reports like because I was trying to like find like haunted stories about these places, and the only thing that I could find for Davis-Monthan for people to you can't investigate, but you could whatever. Just know about it is that there was in the storage area. We have like this big, huge. I mean, it's all over Tucson. It seems like, or at least near where I live, is like the storage area of mothballed aircraft fighter planes, and they basically they're all like taped up, and you can. So it's kind of like just like this graveyard kind of thing. These poor little planes. But anyway, there was a person like that was doing, I guess, his rounds or something, checking on things. And there had been reports of seeing a fighter pilot dressed in World War II era clothing around those planes. So I thought that was kind of interesting. I didn't find anything more. I'm like really crappy at like research. And so let's see. And then there
That'd be
is
cool to see a fighter pilot or a plane, like a ghost plane. Oh my gosh.
And let's see, there is the next one I have. I don't have a picture of it, but it's Fort Huachuca. It's here in Arizona, and I don't know what I wrote. It says something about like the Buffalo Soldier. So Ghost of Soldiers on stage. Okay, that's right. All right, now I'm remembering the story. So it's been reported that in the there's a Mer recreation center on Fort Huachuca, and with that is it's been seen, a ghost or a spirit has been seen that resembles the painting of Clyde Butch Mer, and he's the one who founded the center or the Fort Huachuca center. So that's there. So I didn't get much on that, but Fort Huachuca is a great place to go to, and because I saw a lot of stories, but I was just kind of like not focusing on those two very much because I was like the ones that I really wanted to focus were on Fort Lowell and Fort Bowie. And
Huachuca is a Native American tribe, probably, right?
Yeah,
Huachuca?
I wanted to focus on them, and it's like Fort Lowell is here in Tucson,
Mhm.
and actually, I want to actually go there myself. I've
What you
lived here. I've lived here forever, and I've like driven by a zillion times, and you're just kind of like you just look at it and you go, oh yeah, and then I'm like finding out like, oh my gosh, like that's real, and then you find out there's stories like with Fort Huachuca or Fort Lowell, it's right there by the Rito River, and the reason why they chose that is because it's at the time, in 1873. It was through 1891. It was basically they had year-round water, which is kind of a very
It
rare
was
thing.
underwater.
Yeah, year-round water in the river. We don't in our waters are like rivers and washes and things like that. We don't have water
It
that's
goes down to a
underground.
table.
So,
Yeah.
but back then they did have flowing water, and this is also known Fort Lowell for like a little bit of history of it. It's basically it's a U.S. Army post. It's in Tucson at Fort Lowell, off of Fort Lowell, and basically what happened was a pivotal role. It had a pivotal role in the Apache Wars, and but what I found really kind of interesting was that I do have a picture of the building. Got a canopy over it though to protect it. If you can find the picture on that, but
I hear something in the background.
it basically because it's showing like they were basically made from the clay. Basically, is what we have here in Arizona. We don't have dirt; we have clay, and it's called caliche. And they basically make these forts with the dirt from there, and it's kind of like clay. Really, it's pretty intense on when especially when you don't want to do construction. It took me 2 days to dig a hole in the caliche here, so to plant a flower. But yeah, so that's what it's built out of. If you can find that picture of that, and then and
Fort
with that,
Lowell.
the interesting thing about that is that through the years, the fort closed obviously, and then lots of land was sold off to pieces, bits in here, and the Adkins family was sold a big chunk, and they have like this manufacturing company, and then they donated or sold the land back to the state, and that's when it kind of became like the historical place that it is now. And
I found it.
with that though, they were parts of it were sold also privately to where there were apartment buildings and houses and all that stuff there, and so yeah, yep, right there. That's the building there, and it's covered because to protect it. But the interesting thing is the stories on it were basically where there's an apartment complex, and this girl, there's like ghost stories all over the place, all around this area in this neighborhood,
Mhm.
and people didn't understand what was going on. Like they'd see people like walking in their living room and then out through the wall and stuff like that.
Uh-huh.
She walked in, and she was up. One of the story I read was that she was up getting up at night to go to the bathroom, and then she was like opening up her door to go back to bed, and then and there was a man standing there in full gear, and she's like, oh, excuse me, I didn't realize you were here. And then she closed the door and then realized, oh my gosh, wait a minute, there's nobody should be in my house. So just lots of sightings, lots of noise, lots of activity that people are experiencing and seeing from way back then, like the people dressed in uniform and stuff like that in that period of time. So, and the fort, where is it? Fort Lowell. Yeah, they're knocking on doors, unlocking of doors, wispy figures showing up, laughter when there's no one around. All this stuff happens at Fort Lowell when you're there at night. So, and then in the residence area. So it's pretty cool. I mean, I'm just like going, dang, I want to like kind of go hang out in someone's house there and
This
see if
is
someone
like a
shows up.
aerial
But
view right here.
yeah, and yeah, it's actually pretty big, and it was that that area was from the Indians there. Basically kind of took that area, and that's where one of the places that they would stay at because of the water and the rivers. So does that activity happen? Yes, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, it's happening today, Linda. All this activity. So it's because they're still living and experiencing, thinking that they're still there, I guess, and they're showing up in people's apartments and houses, and if you go to the Howard,
I think there's a museum. Yeah, that was a museum now that's open there. I'm going to pull it up also. I saw when I was searching for it. It doesn't cost anything to go through the museum either. It's free. That one
Yeah, I
little
was trying
building
to
that.
find like the haunting, like haunted stuff, the stories is so like so people can know where to go and what which one would be cool to see.
Fort
And
Laurel
just
Park.
this is a park, so and it's there. It's right there for you to just go walk into, like right here, like pull up in the parking lot and go hang out. And
What?
so
Last year they
and
posted an
experience it.
article about it. It said it could be closing permanently.
Hmm.
We'll have to read
So
that and see what it says. We might have to go there quickly
yeah.
before it closes down. But it
And
says
then
free. Go ahead.
let's see, there's Fort Bowie. And Fort Bowie it was an outpost at the US Army. It's near Wilcox, Arizona, which is only like about an hour drive from me, if that. And it was named in honor of Colonel George Washington Bowie, and because he was the one who established the fort. And this is in the 19th century. So, and Fort Bowie is basically where Geronimo surrendered in 1886. So, so now it is currently a national historical landmark. But and Fort Bowie, I think there's a picture. I provided two pictures, one of what it would look like before, and then one what it looked like
Okay.
now. I was having a hard time like clicking on pictures and copying and trying to paste them into the thing with all these different places. So I was like, forget it. They'll just have to watch me. Just look at me. There you go. Howard's promoting himself this year, and I will too.
She's gonna just drop. She's gonna draw the pictures. We're playing picture. What's it called? Categories. What's that game where you draw the pictures and people have to guess what it is? Charades.
Oh,
Charades, yeah.
Charade. No, you don't draw that. It's not charades that you draw. It's not Pictionary. Is it
Yeah, Pictionary.
Is it Pictionary? Okay, there.
Mm-hmm.
And then let's see, what else was there? What did I send?
Did you send it to me?
Joe is going to be like so disappointed in me with my quick little run throughs on this. But Fort Bowie, basically, where are the pictures? I can't find the pictures. Yeah, so there's Fort Bowie in 1893. That is what it was like when it was like full on, in the time. It was quite large for
How
it.
do you spell Bowie? B-O-U-B-U-I-E?
Bowie. Did I not send them to you?
B-O-W?
Oh, it looked like I sent them to you in my computer. Maybe it didn't send it. I'm sorry.
How do you spell it?
Bowie.
Oh, like David Bowie. Oh my gosh.
We pronounce it Bowie here.
Yeah. Well,
Fort
it's Bowie, according to David. David Bowie. There we go.
I thought I sent them to you. No wonder you're like kind of scrolling through. I'm like, what is she doing? Does she not like my
I didn't see him. I looked in Hey Boo, and then I looked at an individual, and then I looked in the one where I sent y'all the link, and I was like, I don't see it anywhere. Yeah, that's neat.
Yeah. So this dark. Oh wait, I'm pointing like you guys can see. So anyway, the black and white one in the middle there that one's what it looked like before, and then this is the remnants of it, basically just the little, and it's Isn't there a Bowie knife? Yes, there is. There is a Bowie knife. Yes. So, but yeah, it's and here you can only drive up to it so far, and then you have to walk the trail to get up to it actually. And then there's been so many stories about hearing when people have heard horses, they've heard cries, there have been stories of books falling in the visitor center. So there's so many apparitions basically happen there. Lights are being shown there. They'll see lights. So, and as you can see, there's really nothing there for lights to be appearing. So it's pretty fun. It's pretty exciting.
There's an older photo of it, I think.
Yeah. Yep, that's the one I was talking about. That black and white one.
Mm-hmm.
So, of course, I totally recommend if you guys come to any of these, whether it be Fort Huachuca, Fort Lowell, or Fort Bowie, that you come anywhere between, I would say, October through maybe April. And then because it's kind of warm outside the rest of the time, especially if you're coming up from up north. But there, you can feel the energy. You can, and then to have the stories and experiences that stuff is happening all the time. Orbs are there, dark figures are showing up and appearing, noises, and and then to hear, horses hoof prints and stuff, or steps and stuff like that. It's like pretty interesting. It's like, because there's nothing out there. It's just,
Yeah.
so
Tumbleweeds.
That's basically all I had to say. I was just like, I'm like, I took up most of the time last time. I'll just kind of keep my mouth shut over this one.
That's okay.
But I figured, at least, if you're gonna, like, and I try to get focus on Arizona forts, because if you do decide to come for a trip here, then you can, these are some places that you can have on your list to check out, and if you're going to come and have fun. So, and instead of just having one place here and then one place somewhere else, far away, these are all kind of, the forts are definitely haunted for sure. And then they're just, historically they are really interesting. And just
how close is that? Close to you? Is that close to you?
Which one?
Either one.
Oh, the Fort Lowell is in Tucson. I'm in Tucson, and it's right near me. But then the Fort Bowie is only about an hour away from me, if that. So it's, so that's why you can kind of get all these different places.
We would have to come see you so we can go see that.
Yeah. Well, I'm coming to you either in April or May or something. So I'll be out there.
Okay.
Get ready.
I found an article about mine. There's an inn, I guess, that's there. Like some people that rent out an inn, and I'm trying to see if it says the name of the inn, because I wondered if you could actually go there right now. But what's weird is there's a place called the Piper House, and that's my daughter's name, which is funny. It says at bedtime you can hear rain on a tin roof that sounds like a little boy drumming. At midnight it gets louder, rifle fire. When Jane and I both jolt wide awake at 2:00, I don't want to read every detail, but there's roaring of cannons some distance away, firing nonstop, wind outside. Welcome to Piper House, smack dab in the middle of the Antietam National Battlefield. So that might actually be that little fort building, like cottage-looking thing that I was showing you, but I'm not sure.
Yep.
Regina and Lou Clark run the Frame and Log Farmhouse, and it is a bed and breakfast where you can sleep on a designated national Civil War battlefield in a structure that was standing at the time of the battle.
So now it's a bed and breakfast.
And it's called the Piper House. Mm-hmm.
It's called the Piper House, like your daughter's.
Yeah, it's funny. Named for the family that lived there. I guess their last name must have been Piper. 3 rebels are known to have died in that parlor. Yeah. So you can stay there and it's haunted. And I don't know if they offer investigations included in the package with the bed and breakfast room. I'll have to look that up. I would like to know that. That would be cool. If you could actually sleep in that building, and then you could actually set up equipment and do. I mean, you may not need to do anything. You might have your own experience and just, enjoy it for what it is.
Howard's quite feisty for a sicko. I mean, a sickie. I mean, a sick person.
I'm sick as a dog with a really bad headache.
Quite feisty today.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's what I like. I love Tombstone and Bisbee because you can. I mean, I know they're not haunted forts, but it's basically where you can stay. You have bed and breakfast there. You have hotels right there where right there, all on the property, like right in. It's like these are active towns, living towns, but it's all historical, and you have experiences. I mean, I was in the Copper Queen in Bisbee, and the energy there was intense on that second floor for sure, and in the hotel section. And it's because you're walking up the stairs and then you're walking down the hall, and it's like all of a sudden you go into your room, and on the second, and it's like all of a sudden you get this oppressive, heavy energy just weighing down on you. And the room I was staying in was like, it was pretty creepy. People were just popping up everywhere on me. And I don't know if it's because, because as mediums or whatever we're like looking for energy, but I was trying not to look for energy in my hotel room. I wanted that to stay.
Which hotel? Where was it?
This was the Copper Queen in Bisbee.
Oh,
and so
yeah.
you're staying in history. I mean, it's been there forever. So it's still functioning. So it's really neat. It has great history, has, different rooms labeled for different people that, historically have that stayed there, that have become famous, or at least in the area. And then in Tombstone, you're getting the same thing, it's like right there. So, and I do know that, when it comes to, Tombstone, and it's all, hey, Greg, how are you? And, yeah, it's when it comes to Tombstone, it's what's her name? Mary. China Mary is basically what she's called, is her nickname she's known for. And they have, the people who own that, or at least they used to, they were setting up a bed and breakfast kind of place on their own property right there on China Mary. So you have the store, and this is where China Mary actually had, lived, ran business, had an opium den, so it was,
Oh, wow.
it was pretty cool. And so, and then when you're there, you can like totally feel the energy. You can see things, feel things, sense things, smell things. It's just intense. You can hear the rattling chains of spurs and chains from the horse's carriage. And so, of course, I'm talking about, this isn't a fort, but it is, it is a historical town, a living historical town.
I was just
I get passionate about it. I'm always there. I'm always shopping there, walking around, just hanging out. And I've seen everything there, so it's not like it's not like, oh, it's exciting for me to like, oh, it's a new thing. It's not. It's just comfortable. I love it. Though there are the mines there. I'm totally like off the fort thing, but there's the mines there in Tombstone, and they have like 3 different levels. There's like, the kind that you can walk around in down below with your sandals on, your flip flops. And then there's the ones who are, a little bit more intermediate, and you can like, where you might need your sneakers. And then there's, the ones where it's like really intense, where you're going to like probably need hiking gear and lungs working actually to get through them. But I always just do the one with the sandals. That's good enough for me. I'm happy. I don't need to be underground for too long.
Oh, wait, what is this? Okay, there's an article I found when I was looking at haunted battlefields, and this one was talking about a horseback rider ghost on a battlefield. It said the psychic medium took a week to recover after capturing the image of a phantom soldier on horseback from the War of the Roses in a selfie that he took. He's on an investigative team, but you can see it better here, I feel like, from far away. See the horse and the man on the horse?
Yep, I see it.
Yeah.
And right before they got that photo, they had heard a horse trotting through there, and they heard horse hoofs and horse like running before they took that photo. Yeah.
That's awesome.
I don't remember what team they were on. I mean, not like it matters, but they were doing a paranormal investigation that day, though. So
there it is. Yeah. Yep.
Why does it keep popping up these dang things, ads? How do I get rid of it? I don't know if it's annoying. Anyways, there, right here.
Yep. Right there.
There. Yeah.
Yep. You can see the horse and somebody on it.
Yeah. There's like so many ads popping up on there. I can't even look at the photo.
That's cool.
Anyways, that was at a UK battle site that was two of them, though. There was another one where there's a naked running soldier that runs naked through a
Like
battlefield. It made me think of Braveheart, and it made me think of Howard. Let me pull the location up. Britain's 5 most haunted battlefields in Britain. The one with the naked ghost is Hertfordshire. A series of bloody battles, the British were forced back to the Cotavillani capital at Wheaton's Dead in Hertfordshire, where they were defeated by Caesar's legions. Today, it is still possible to see the remains of the capital and get a feel for the bloody chaos which took place over 2,000 years ago. You may also get a glimpse of one of the combatants. In recent years, accounts of a ghostly lone warrior riding a horse through the fort has been reported. He rides almost naked, and he doesn't run, he rides naked, and is described as being painted in blue woad. I wonder if that's...
You have the picture?
It does not have a picture. That's why I Googled it, and I think it was the one that I just showed y'all.
Oh, okay.
It says, witnesses claim they have seen the long-haired, mustached horseman gallop through the trees and then disappear into the banks of fort ramparts. I was making sure that's the same battlefield because it may not be. Nope, it's not. Actually, there's 2 different battlefields. The one that photo was taken at was Brunanburh, where Vikings, Irish, Picts, Scottish, and Brunanburh soldiers fought. Yeah. The Forgotten Battle, the Mystery of Brunanburh, 937 A.D. In 937, the Anglo-Saxon king Aethelstan invaded the north of a still embryonic England. And there were Scots there, so that's probably the naked guy on the horses.
Yeah.
All the naked guys on the horses.
Huh? The other picture was the naked guy on the horse that we saw.
The other guy was a different battlefield and a different soldier on a horse. Not the first article that I read. That is a nearly naked guy that is on a horse in the first article.
Oh, okay.
The second article didn't say he was naked.
Okay.
It just said what you saw in that photo. Which I mean, who knows if the guy was really naked or not? I don't know. The photo wasn't clear enough.
No, I mean, you know, see the outline.
I'm going to ask the expert Howard. But I felt like one of those articles was talking about Braveheart. Was it not in Britain? Or was it in Scotland? Because that second 937 AD battle had Scottish and Anglo-Saxons and Brits and all of those different people in it. Yeah, there's more articles. If you look at the Ghosts of Antietam battlefield, there's a ton of articles about Ghosts of Antietam. According, they still serve a complete guide to the military ghosts of Britain by traditional states that the naked ghosts of the Roman soldiers been seen running around. So there's a lot of, we need to go over there. Our ghosts here wear clothes. They don't over there. They don't care.
Oh, we gotta go over there and collect some pictures, huh?
They're like, I've got ghost hair and I just don't care. That's funny.
So anybody in the feed have places that they have like a fort or something that they've experienced, and
they didn't need horns on their saddles?
Or are we just going to talk about naked Scotsmen riding horses?
And which they are painted in blue woad, so that's why I thought it was.
Apparently, we're looking up porn, ghost porn.
I thought it was Braveheart because he had the blue paint on him, and a naked soldier riding on the horse is Scottish and has blue paint on him.
That is, yeah, the blue paint. That's Mel Gibson.
Yeah. One of the other most bloody
Mighty
and
Pine with blue paint.
battles of Britain was the Towton bloodbath. Towton in 1461 AD was the War of the Roses. It was fought between two rival royal houses of York and Lancaster between 1453 and 1487. Both parties laid claim to the English throne and were prepared to shed the blood of thousands to achieve their goal. I was talking with Wayne on Monday night we were talking about this because he lives near Yorkshire, I think. Viciously contested. It occurred at Towton in Yorkshire in 1461. Towton was the bloodiest battle ever fought in England. 30,000 bodies littered the field, slain in murderous hand-to-hand combat. That's a lot. It's full of ghosts. Said that every 7 years on the anniversary of the battle, if the weather is snowy, then one will see and hear a replay of the clash. Other accounts say that if you visit the River Cock at the so-called Bridge of Bodies, where so many Lancastrians were cut down in flight, one will hear the moans and the cries of the help of the dead. Cries for help from the dead. That's creepy. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Such tales would seem to be folklore. No. Yeah, he was telling me that was one of the most, Wayne on our show Monday night was telling me that was the most haunted place that he could think of near where he lived. It was Yorkshire at where the Battle of Roses took place, and there are some buildings there, I think, that he said that he had investigated or was going to investigate. They're on that battlefield.
Mm-hmm.
Like some castles or forts that are there that he was going to investigate soon. That'd be neat.
That's cool. And Linda's saying here, in California, there's a place called Paccio. Am I saying that right? Paccio Pass and Highway 152 runs through there. Sylvia Brown would nearly pass out from seeing the bloody battles of the Indian settlers and the missionary priests over the land at the top of the pass. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and here's another person that said, I live near Bosworth Battlefield in the UK, but have not visited. I do live nearby Ashby Castle. I think I saw a couple of ghost soldiers on watch, but not much else. That would be so awesome. Felt like I was walking on bones, though. Oh my gosh. How creepy, but how awesome.
Yeah, and in the UK, I mean, like, everywhere you step you've got to be interesting to see those things, you know, like, I imagine you would, and because everywhere in the UK, that's old. So,
yeah, and like, yeah, I'm sure there's a lot more haunted places and a lot more haunted battlefields, war sites, and soldiers, and activity of soldiers still thinking that they're in battle over there.
Yep. So, well, ladies.
It's I
guess I will say goodbye, and I will miss you all. So
yes, we will miss you.
I will be gone for at least a couple months. So,
but you'll be back,
and she's taking a hiatus to go do Renaissance fairs.
Yes, I get to dress up in corsets and skirts and eat Scotch eggs and drink honey mead and read tarot cards and
take pictures.
So it's going to be fun. Everybody. The Renaissance Festival is like my Disneyland.